Hello everyone, how's it doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. Let's get on today's video session. Here we go. So let's check this out today, guys. Here we go. Yeah, right. Alright guys, here we go today. So how are you guys doing today? Welcome to my video session. Oh, okay guys, come on. Information I got today is crazy. Oh, alright. So there you go, some rock and roll music for you guys today. Today, the information I'm going to bringing you today is really impressive because it's about the Nintendo Switch. Which Nintendo Switch are we talking about? This is the Nintendo Switch OLED model. If we look at the previous Nintendo Switch we already own, right? That one, right, came a few years after the Sony PS4 and Microsoft Xbox One, if you remember. Now, even in that competition, right, the Nintendo Switch slashed it down. Just like that, completely. I don't know how it was done. It was done so fast. I don't know what is in this system, man. That people just want to keep on buying it and buying it. You know, this system is for a different audience. Yeah? The way we look at it, right, this system is completely different to anything you have ever seen before. Even with Sony PS4 and Microsoft Xbox One, they're just systems for televisions, right? What makes Nintendo Switch so different? I mean, Nintendo Switch is a handheld, tabletop, and TV. Woo! All in 3-in-1. It got 3 different audiences at once. That's the way I think, isn't it? I mean, there isn't a thing that's missing in there. But I tell you in a way, right? Maybe people are a bit confused. They reckon, right? Okay, Nintendo Switch got all that. You think you can't do that on the other systems? You can. There is another way of doing it. Forget about Sony and forget about Microsoft. There is another way of doing that. We're going to be talking that in a different video, okay? So anyway, forget that anyway. So what's happening with Nintendo Switch OLED model? It was released on the 8th October, wasn't it? 8th. I mean, in terms of UK, it was released on the 8th October. Now, the biggest thing about Nintendo Switch OLED model, did it sell really well? Because if think about it, right? The original Nintendo Switch, right? So it was doing really well. But why would people buy Nintendo Switch OLED model? The question is, did it do well? I'm going to answer that a bit later on. Now, the Nintendo Switch OLED model is just the same hardware. Same. 720p HD. So what's the difference is in the Nintendo Switch OLED model that the Nintendo Switch doesn't even own? Like it doesn't have, it doesn't have. Okay, here we go. First of all, OLED model. Nintendo Switch OLED model. What was these features are really important to us? 7-inch. Now this 7-inch, right, is vivid, vibrant, and high brightness contrast ratio. That's what this new display was like. Okay. Kickstand. It had another like a stand where it will move from very different view angle positions. It was really good because when you're putting it like that, it goes really, really low, goes really high, and it goes really, really low. It had very, very low, different angles, and I was very surprised to hear about these angles on there. It was quite good actually, quite interesting. Yeah. Stability, good stability. I think it was a wide network connection, which was a fast internet speed in there. Okay, Ethernet port as well. Better audio. Yeah, better audio. Yeah, and stuff like that. Better speakers, better audio too as well. There are quite a lot of different things in the system really. Maybe I missed some. There were probably some more, probably 1-2 more features. We already know that, but having all these extra features, did he do so well? Let's just pump on some music before telling us. Here we go. Woo! Come on, guys! Check out one out today. What it is? Come on! Come on! Come on! Oh! Come on! Okay, let's enjoy the video a bit more. Okay, there you go. So now we're gonna go further along into this information and see what we make out of it. Right, here we go, more further, yeah? Okay, so this is all about the Nintendo Switch OLED model sales. This system was released in the UK on 8th October, priced at £309.99. Okay, I don't think, for me, yeah, Nintendo Switch is not biggie. I'm not a huge fan of all of these three systems because I think since Nintendo had a deal with Panasonic, right, when way back in December 2001, releasing the Panasonic Q games console, that was one of the most greatest idea for a, two companies working together. The reason I would say that because Panasonic released very good features in that system, and from Nintendo was a Nintendo Gamecube in there, wasn't it? Now Nintendo Gamecube had one of the most important games that even further along systems like Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Wii U, Nintendo Switch didn't own these games, man. They missed out all of them. Yeah, seriously, they missed out every single one. So anyway, let's continue. So this is Nintendo Switch. Okay, about the sales. Now the sales achieved, right? Let me get this correct. 860,000. Yeah, and this is the date from maybe it was released in the other countries before. I mean, in terms of this date, it's from October 3rd, 9, or in our countries, 3rd, 9, 3rd to 9th October date, yeah? And yeah, you got these kind of sales, which is pretty good, man. Right. Now this is really important because you know the sales of 861,914, right? This is the week ending in 9th October. Wow, this is pretty high, man. This is pretty big, isn't it? And Nintendo Switch, okay, sales, right? If you look at it, it's triple, man. It's flipping triple these sales are, right? Yeah, Nintendo Switch sales have been triple, right, since of the Nintendo Switch OLED model launch. Whoa, check it out. Let's put some music with that, man. Here we go. Alright guys, come on! Woo! Just rock and roll, man! These Nintendo Switch OLED sales! So excited about this information, man. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it. Probably the music there. Now, further along. Now we're going to go a bit more further. This is going to be really astonishing, right? Because the Nintendo Switch sales now have moved further along. Okay? Are you ready for this? It is 92.45 million. Hooray! Absolutely incredible, man. Incredible. Yeah? Now, if we look at the other systems that Sony Microsoft is bragging about, our systems are, wow, better hardware, faster SSD. Let's see how wicked they are then, after all. The PS5 has just sold 254,910. That's it. Okay, this is the only one what they actually made. Right, and that's the much units they sold probably from that date what they were talking about here. And Sony PS5 sales are only 12.73 million, which is not that a lot, I would say. And Microsoft Xbox Series X is obviously there. How much units they've sold is 164,365. The sales of this system is only 7.78 million. That's all. Okay. Considering, I think that what this information is talking about, they're on about. If you look at Nintendo Switch, right, it was 861,914 in the week ending 9th October. Okay, and that's the same week that Sony PS5 only made 254,910, and Microsoft Xbox Series X only made 164,265. Look at that huge leap. Nintendo Switch is blowing them away, man. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Now, looking at the sales week on week, yeah. Now the Nintendo Switch sales, Nintendo Switch sales, right, is 610,000. Sony PS5 sales is 14,000. Yeah. Oh my gosh! Did you say what? Did you hear just what I just said? Let's get this right again. Nintendo Switch sales, right? And week on week, like like week after week, they're talking about that. It's Nintendo Switch sales 610,000. What the heck? Ah, Sony PS5 sales 14,000 only. That's flipping nothing. That's nothing. It's a low number. And Microsoft Xbox Series X is 9,000. It's just in thousands, man. It's nothing. That Nintendo Switch one's really high. Now, what I've been telling you, the question was, is the Nintendo Switch OLED model selling well? Indeed, man. It's selling really, really well. Now you got the answer. Now you know that. This gets more exciting. Now, further along, information I've got about Nintendo Switch sales. Here we go. Right. It must be that week ending, right? I think it's mentioned that first number. Then he's mentioning the sales it's got since they launched till now, yeah? Here we go. Global hardware. Nintendo Switch is 861,914, as I said, and the sales is achieved is 92,448,650 million. Wow, check it out. Sony PS5 is 254,910, so it's 12,733,563 million. Yeah, just over 12 million, yeah. Microsoft Xbox Series X is 164,365. That is 775. Was it 901? That's just a bit over 7 million. So let's look at in terms of millions. Nintendo Switch is 92 million. Sony PS5 is 12 million. And Microsoft Xbox Series X is 7 million. Okay? That's what the figure is telling you. Now we're going to talk about America, US, Canada, Latin America. Nintendo Switch there is 147,702. I think these are just the unit sales, isn't it? Not the other sales, okay? I think these are all about the units now, okay? Sony PS5 is only 98,199. Microsoft Xbox Series X is 83,348. Okay. Europe, Nintendo Switch is 234,412. Sony PS5 is 111,220. Microsoft Xbox Series X is 83,348. Okay. Now the next one is Asia, Japan, mainland Asia, Middle East. Nintendo Switch is 246,621. This is pretty crazy. Look how poor these sales are now. Further along, Sony PS5 is only 35,798. Oh no! It's failed in his home country. Now look at the next one. Microsoft Xbox Series X is 15,218. Even worse. Let's go further now. This is the final one. Oceania, Australia and New Zealand. Nintendo Switch 33,179. Sony PS5 9,693. Microsoft Xbox Series X 7,182. It defeated them in all these places, man. Look at this. Global, America, Europe, Asia, Oceania. Where hasn't the Nintendo Switch OLED model hasn't won in sales? It's completely worse than Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X. I got no words to say, man. No words. I'm very surprised what it's actually done. Now, even if you look at a country like Asia, Japan, mainland, Asia, Middle East, this is kind of really big, man. Because if you look at Nintendo Switch there, it's 246,621. Pretty huge number there, ain't it? But look at Sony PS5. I thought Sony PS5 was, a pretty good system. Well, look at it. It's struggling. 35,798. What kind of flipping sales is that? That is absolutely terrible. 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 And further on, Microsoft Xbox Series X 15,218. If you look at Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X, they're both struggling. In countries like Japan, they're struggling. Nintendo Switch is just awesome. Right. Now I want to talk about a bit more. In my opinion, right, one of the most amazing system ever released was the Panasonic Q games console, right? Which Panasonic gave us really incredible features. I always say that. And Nintendo giving us Nintendo Gamecube games. You're gonna find out in my next video why do I think Nintendo Gamecube is one of the best Nintendo games console ever made. It owns one of the most finest video games ever developed. And I'm very happy about it that Nintendo had a deal with Panasonic, where Panasonic and Nintendo really two companies got together and released a Panasonic Q games console, or should we call it Panasonic DVD/game player. It's one of the greatest systems ever made. Nintendo GameCube had its own problems, and which it suffered from its sales. But one thing you need to consider: Nintendo GameCube is one of the greatest games console for gaming. It just is. Sales doesn't matter in it. You don't need sales for that system. It's one of the greatest games console. You guys whether believe it or not, it's one of the greatest games console ever made. And making a system like Panasonic Q games console makes it even more interesting. As you already seen in a lot of videos that we'll be making step by step. That no person's already done on YouTube anyway. So I hope you guys like my video session today. And Nintendo is winning completely with Nintendo Switch. But happy for me, yeah. Nintendo GameCube is far better than Nintendo Switch. It's a much better system than that. Nintendo GameCube holds one of the greatest games that the Nintendo Switch doesn't own. This makes the whole process confusing. People who buy it, it's entirely up to them. I don't actually think Nintendo Switch is a greatest system. I don't think it is. The Panasonic Q games console is. That's one of the greatest games console ever. If you bought one of them things, you'll get lots of good features from Panasonic. You'll get Nintendo GameCube games from it. From Nintendo Gaming. And you know what? Some of the Nintendo games on that system, you're gonna like the system, man. You're gonna like it. That's why still a lot of people buy it. That's why so many people buy the Panasonic games console. That's why they buy it, because it's a really good system. Because Panasonic Q games console is a really interesting system still, and it's still worth buying. Where you gonna get a lot of features and CD-based technology from? Well, you don't get it from Nintendo anyway. The Panasonic system owns all that. And on the other side, Nintendo Gamecube. Why? Why is it the best? Because Nintendo Gamecube, right? Nintendo game exclusives. That's what I'm talking about here. He owns one of the best Nintendo game exclusives. Yeah. On the Gamecube, yeah. The further on 3 Nintendo machines, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Wii U, Nintendo Switch, don't own them. That's a shame. And Nintendo Switch needs to own them. Till he doesn't own them, I will never admit Nintendo Switch is the best Nintendo system. No way. It doesn't matter how much sales it picks up. It's good for Nintendo. The sales it's getting in terms of Nintendo game exclusives. It's not. It's not the best system for that. But wiping the Sony PS5 and Xbox Series X, it's really massive. It's really massive. Getting these big boys out of the way, and a thing like Nintendo Switch OLED model, wiping them off the floor, man. It's crazy stuff, man, up down there. Well done. Well done. Well done, anyway. So there you go. I hope you guys like my video today. Give your likes, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.